right? This is designed by HDR, big design, international design firm. These little sections right here will become the world's largest cantilever, 67 meters. But they did not have the designers, and they did not have the engineers that could actually pull it off. So when I sent my report to the Minister of Health, he basically pulled the plug on it until they got it figured out. So I basically lost myself a job, but it was the right thing for the client. Okay, next. The solution in Serbia. Okay, a lot of people out of work, isn't there? A lot of kids out of school. Is that, you guys agree with that? I always say you didn't get here on a winning streak, did you? So what we'll do is, after I get done with this little presentation, is that we're going to talk about how you see your future here. And then I will tell you how I see your future here. And then we're going to come up with an idea and a plan of action to help build a system that's going to help. Next. Enough about me. Next. Okay, contract work is like a team. Like you go to work for an architectural company, right? So you work in a team of people. How many people work in a firm right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? Now, how many people are in your team?
12.
12.
10.
10. About 10, okay? 10 to 15 is a good number. You get any more than that, it gets too confusing. You get any less than that, it's too much work. Okay? So this is contract work. I used to be a river guide, so that's why I use this as an example. You see how many people are in the boat? How many people do you see? Can you see that? How many people do you have?
7.
Okay. And what's he doing? He's what? Right, he's the guide.
No.
So that's what I did. That was me. So I was the leader of this group. Now, when you're in the boat and you're at the office, right? You're in the office and you got your team. What if somebody isn't really doing their job? What happens?
We have to go to the boss
Okay.
or
well,
somebody beneath him that is, how would I say this, in charge
Okay.
of the part of the team that is architects and designers, because we have the management team also.
Okay. So, do you fire them?
No, try to help him first.
Try to help them first. Okay. So when you're working in that environment, now this is an environment that you'll be working on when you start working for design firms in Saudi Arabia. You will not have to go to Saudi Arabia. You will not have to go to Qatar. You'll do everything right here. But this is your team. If this person here isn't paddling very well, can I throw him out of the boat?
No.
So I'd move him to another location. You would like, what'd you say, you want to throw him out of the boat?
No.
Is that what you said? I could have. So what's in your boat is what you have to work with. And what this guy's job is to do is to put the team together. Put the team together. This person goes here, this person goes here, and you move it around until the machine is working smoother. If this person is not doing their job, this person can't do his. So maybe he's got too much, so maybe you spread his work out. Or maybe you give him a mentor, like the guy in the back can mentor him. You see, that's all what it's like doing contract work, is that you're a part of a team and you all work together to get the same goal. Next. Here's my favorite. Oh, sorry. Next. BIM. Who's heard of BIM? 1, 2. Who else? You guys went to school? You didn't hear about any of this? This is very important for doing international work. And this is something that the young construction professionals are going to provide for its members. BIM, Building Integration Model. Building Integration Methodology. It's basically the same. This is 3D modeling. You ever seen it? Elevations, floor plan, you make a 3D model. Okay, then what happens? That's 3D. What's 2D? What's 2D? just paper, right? Two-dimensional. 3D is three-dimensional. 4D is where you integrate. This is where the methodology comes in. The building integration is where you take the components, you take the heating, ductwork, you take the electrical, you take the plumbing, mechanical, right? You take all that stuff and you include it in the model. And guess what happens when you have the framework and you put all the mechanical in it, guess what happens? You find all the problems. Oh my gosh, there's a big ductwork that's supposed to go through this wall. Okay, how are we going to fix this? That's why that is important. Because you find it out early. And you don't have the building built and you look up and say, listen, this is a shear wall, it's concrete, it's this thick, how are we going to get this ductwork through that wall? The answer is, you are not going to touch that wall. It's a shear wall, all concrete, you're not going to. But when you find it out early, you make the engineering adjustments early. Okay? This is very important. Okay? Very important for your career to work out of Serbia. You have to know this. This is very, I can't stress this enough. In most of North America, South America, I'd say North America, anything that's paid for by the government has to have BIM because it saves change orders. It saves millions and millions of dollars in, oh my gosh, I missed something. Okay? In England, 87% of all projects, not just government projects, are done this way. Most of Europe is like at 67%. Now, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Oman, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, all those Gulf regions, Kuwait, Iraq, all those places that are kind of growing again right now, they're starting to build back up. They all do this. So, are you guys ready for this? Are you guys ready to go work there yet? Right? I don't think you are. I don't think you're ready for this. You're ready to learn it, but you're not ready to go work for them yet. You have to learn that, and then you can go. Okay? Another thing about BIM is that there's 3D model. 4D, which is the integration of mechanical. 5D, now the architects will probably not like this, but they'll probably love it at the same time, is that they extract shop drawings from 5D. Okay, so you don't have to sit there in CAD Wizard and try to reinvent every product that you're doing. But it takes just as many people to pull out shop drawings. You're just doing it in a different way. But they're more accurate. So how many people have to deal with plan review? You have a design review, then you have shop drawings. Who has to go through that? Anybody here? When you get done with your drawing, somebody has to review it. Have you been through that process?
Yes.
Okay. It's very important. Standard CAD will be turned down at least 67% of the time because there's defects. You run it through here, it's got a 97% success rate. So when you walk in with 100 shop drawings and you put them down to be reviewed, they're not paper, they're not 2D. They're all doing it digital. They're all looking at it at a big screen. They can go through with their mouse and they can click areas that are in question, maybe conflicts that they see, and then they send it back to have it all redone. No drawing, no CAD. It's all done through BIM. Okay, this is the future, right? This is the future that a lot of the world, not just Serbia, but this is the future that Serbia has kind of missed out on through their education system. Do you agree? They didn't teach us in school, did you? Okay. So this is something that the young construction professionals are going to have available: training, mentorships, and internships in Europe. Okay? You follow me? So the next step, BIM, the next step, you have 5D. 6D is the end. And what does the end mean? When you're done with the project, what do the architects and engineers do? What's the last thing that is done that you guys do? Any idea? What's the last thing you do? As-built? You know what? As-built, you know what that is? An as-built is what it is today. Right? By the time it gets done, guess what? Not everything's exactly the way that it was drawn. So what an as-built does is it makes it, they actually scan them now. Well, they'll take the room and they go like this with a laser, and they'll scan it. Or they'll scan it as they go, and they stick it into the model. But what that does is it's for facilities, like the big hospital I just showed you. For that facility, wouldn't that be handy to have? To know where the ductwork was, where the pumps were, what types of pumps, what model number, where were they bought. That's all included in 6D. Every facility in Saudi Arabia, in Qatar, Dubai, and Oman all require that the contractor and designers take it all the way through 6D. Is this valuable? Is it? Extremely. It's priceless. This saves millions of dollars. But you know where that millions of dollars that is saving goes to? It goes to upgrades. They spend the same amount of money, but instead of spending on mistakes and oversights, they actually spend it on improving the product and making the client happier. So who likes a happy client? Huh? Boy, I sure do. I use a phrase that's called money flies out of happy hands. Right? If that client's happy, man, they paid. All right, go to the next one. Anyway, that's BIM. Okay, these are some of the things that we'll have. Has anybody ever heard of PM Web? Have you? Okay. What is it?
Every company that's doing a project has project management that system where you upload any project, every design, drawing, and everything like that, like a server.
Very good. Very good. Let's give her a hand, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. This is another thing that is being used internationally. And what this does, this, ladies and gentlemen, this right here is the link between you being able to live in Serbia and work in Serbia and not living and working in Serbia. Because this tool here is used to transfer documents. Like you would go to this place right here and you would download your work. Right? Your design manager says, okay, we need to have these drawings done. We need to have these drawings reviewed. Whatever they want you to do. You'll pull them all out of here. That's why I was talking about the internet. Right? This is why. You have to have at least a decent internet bandwidth. And it's, I mean, from what I've seen here, it seems like it's very effective and very efficient, even though they're always too slow. But it's good enough for here. In the Middle East, they're absolutely horrible. This here is also a server base. It's not a cloud base. If I was in North America, I could do it from the cloud. Since I'm here, the distance would be so hard to pull all that documentation over fiber optics that it would just be, it'd be so time consuming you'd never get it done. So a company would step up and we'd say, okay, we want to do PM Web. They would say, okay, they would look at the situation and say, okay, this is a list, this is a laundry list of what you need to have as far as your server capacity. The cables, the type of server, right? What we'll do is that we will buy this, right? As a group, as being a member, you're going to be an investor into this. When we have it, and you have a client that wants to use your services, not only do you know how to use this, but the members will gain because we actually charge him for using it. You understand? We have to, it's called educating your market. We need to educate the people that are going to hire you about working remotely. Because if you walk up to people and say, you know, man, I'm spending all this money dragging these people into Saudi Arabia, you know, for visas, housing, all this cost. The reason is because they don't understand how this works. If they understood how that works, and they go, well, why wouldn't I do it remotely? It's cheaper, more effective, and we would own the license to this.